Speaker. Mr Speaker, I too want to join with other colleagues and express my thoughts and sympathies to the people of Japan facing the aftermath of the earthquake, the tsunami and now the nuclear fallout from the explosions at the power plants and the resulting radiation. It is a time when people across the world are looking to provide support to the people of Japan as they deal with a crisis that will be, I fear, many, many years in its playing out. And obviously all members in the House would provide our support to whatever New Zealand can do. I also want to add to other colleagues' comments about our ongoing support for the people of Christchurch and Canterbury. And it is indeed very sad to learn this afternoon that the Rugby World Cup games will not be played in Christchurch this year. Just to clarify some of the Minister's comments before, I think the quarter-final games will be going to Auckland, but the pool games that Christchurch was going to be hosted will be spread to other venues. And I do hope, Mr Speaker, that venues in the South Island are considered for that in terms of the overall economic benefit from those pool games. I also want to note, Mr Speaker, that I do think it is a real shame that the government, who have quite clearly been aware of this decision for some time now, have not been as upfront with the people of Canterbury as they may well have been. And I think the performance we saw in the House today from Mr Joyce didn't reflect well on the government in terms of being upfront with the people of Canterbury, who deserve, given everything that they have been through, for the government to be that take that upfront approach with them. And I think that does stand as a shame in this House today. Mr Speaker, I want to refer today to a report undertaken by the Regional Public Health Service in Wellington called Food Costs for Families. This report was produced just after the increase in GST last year. And essentially what the report does is it goes through and it talks about what percentage of a family's income they need to spend to create a healthy diet for their family, using the Otago University Food Cost Survey as the basis for that. And essentially what the paper says, Mr Speaker, is that New Zealanders on average spend around about 16% of their income on food. There is international research to say that if somebody is spending 25% or more of their disposable income on food, that they can be moving into food stress, and that is experienced by everybody who is spending more than 30% of their income on food. What the Regional Public Health Survey shows in Wellington is that for a family with breadwinners on the minimum wage with 2 children, they will be spending 34% of their income before rent or 50% of their income after rental payments on food. That puts them well above the international norms and well into the category of food stress. If it's a beneficiary family with 2 children, they'll be spending 52% of their income on food to get a healthy diet, or 66% of their after-rent income to get a healthy diet. And it goes up even more for a beneficiary family in private accommodation rather than Housing New Zealand accommodation. These are the pressures, Mr Speaker, on families out there today. Rising food costs, the rising impact of the increase of GST is meaning that these people are spending far greater percentage of their income to get to a healthy diet than they possibly can afford. And the consequences, Mr Speaker, of families not being able to provide healthy food at an affordable price are long-term. They're long-term for the individuals and the families concerned in terms of issues like obesity and poor nutrition, but they're also long-term for the whole country, Mr Speaker. The economic and social costs of having people with poor nutrition, poor health outcomes are enormous. And that is why this government is being irresponsible, and it is out of touch, Mr Speaker, if it does not accept that people are facing enormous increases in their cost of living. They are out of touch when the Prime Minister said that it is a lifestyle choice to go to a food bank. It is not. The cost of living in this country, the cost of putting healthy food on the table is getting out of hand. And beneficiary families, families on the minimum wage, working families are struggling to make ends meet, and this government is out of touch if it thinks that that is a lifestyle choice for those people. Because, Mr Speaker, the cost of living is impacting right across the board. And if I look only in the health sector, GP fees up 6.5%, after-hours costs of over $100 for a child in Queenstown, $129 for an older child and $139 for adult. These kinds of costs, Mr Speaker, are unacceptable. This government is out of touch and they need to realise that the cost of living is going up. Labor has a plan to address that.
Te uro Flavel.